Alrighty, welcome back. You're watching Liquid Lunch on Biz TV, and I like to say it's the news with the booze. And as I mentioned a little earlier in the show this morning, I did another hit on Newsmax on American Agenda, and American Agenda is one of Newsmax's newest, fastest-growing shows. Awesome show, breaking down the news of the day. And if you're sick of all the turd on the left, and you're getting a little tired of too much rightness on the Fox there, check out Newsmax in the morning because they got a cool little show there. And by the way, Liquid Lunch is really taking hold, and you know it's taking hold when a national TV host, after talking about some really serious topics, says to you, hey, I watch the show all the time, I love it. I know it's early in the morning, but you got any alcohol around? And then there's me on Newsmax with bottle of McAllen that I polished off yesterday. But I did get into it pretty hard on Newsmax this morning with the ridiculousness of Letitia James, New York State Attorney General, grandstanding with political persecution. Now she's going after the NRA. So riddle me this, Batman. We're trying to defund the police, right? So our cities are going to be a little less safe. There's no police, okay? At the same time, these left-wing lunatics, these progressive whack jobs want to defund the police. They want to take the most prominent units, the SWAT teams, the anti-crime units, the undercover. They want them all gone. These are the people who take down the hard criminals. They want them gone. And then at the same time, Joe Biden is in bed now with Bernie Sanders, and he's going to make Beto O'Rourke part of his team and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. If you can't see what's going on, you need your head examined, or you got to go down to Cohen's Optical and get a new pair of goggles for yourself, because this thing could go way off the rails if we let this guy Joe Biden in. And in the middle of riots, looting, pandemics, all that other stuff, the Attorney General of New York wants to eliminate and completely demolish the National Rifle Association. Take a look at this.
James going after the NRA. And by the way, that's not the only city. D.C. also going after the NRA to dismantle the NRA. That is the goal. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, look, first of all, right here in New York, we have a case of attorneys gone wild. We got New York City DA going after President Trump for alleged crimes from 10 years ago. Now we have a grandstanding attorney general in New York and in D.C. If you ask me, what they're doing is they're firing up Donald Trump's base at a time when we're talking about defund the police. So we're going to get rid of the cops. At the same time, we want to go after the National Rifle Association when gun ownership applications are up huge. It's the only organization advocating for gun ownership. To me, this is like systemic criminal persecution, not prosecution, persecution. They're going after political enemies, and they're wasting millions and millions of taxpayer dollars to settle scores. It's absolutely outrageous.
So the goal to dismantle them, do you feel that these attorney generals will be able to accomplish that goal? Do you think the NRA moves out of New York and goes to Texas? What are your thoughts on that?
You know what? I don't think anything's going to come of it. This is going to last way longer than the election. And I don't think the only thing she has going for this is a civil case. So no one's going to jail on this thing. So we're spending, millions and millions of dollars to try to disband an organization. And like you said, they can just pick up and start the organization, headquarter it, run it from somewhere else. It makes no difference. This is all grandstanding. It's actually, if you ask me, a backfire, because gun owners are going to come out in force now for Donald Trump, just like they did in 2016, but this will incite them even more.
Right.
It's literally attorneys gone wild out there, especially here in New York State, when you got the top law enforcement officer in the state of New York is trying to disband the largest organization representing and advocating for our Second Amendment rights. She's trying to disband it. So you got all this crap going on, man, and you really got to think, people say, oh, Trump's going to win, there's the silent voter and all this other stuff. No, He's going to win. But we can't take nothing for granted. You got to remind your aunts and your uncles and your cousins and your 18-year-old kids, get out and vote for Donald Trump. And the truth of the matter is, we are literally at this point in our life at a crucible moment. Okay, there's literally a crossroads here. And it's becoming now, if you ask me, a literal battle between good and evil. Okay, and I was out last night till, 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning with some of my friends, and we were talking about all different topics. We were speaking different languages by 2 a.m. But after I have liquid lunch and then a liquid dinner and then go out and eat some food, and was out with my buddy Sean and my buddy Ray, and we were talking about all kinds of different things. And, at some point I get the little good and evil. I get the little angel on this shoulder saying, go home, go home. And then I get the little devil on this shoulder. Johnny, we got to go out and have a few more drinks. The good and evil we're looking at right now is an existential threat to what we know as our country, America. Okay? So every so often I look at the angel and say, come on, take a walk. We got to get a little dirty here. You know what I mean? But what we got to do is the little evil on this side, we got to just smash them and crush them. And we got to crush Biden, and we got to crush Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. We have to crush Ilhan Omar. We have to crush Rashida Tlaib. We have to crush Nancy Pelosi. These people have to be crushed to a point where they're no longer relevant. Okay? And there's little bits and pieces where, you hear the left wing saying, oh, we're going to take back the Senate and we're going to take back the House. And there's murmurs coming out of Washington that a big hunk of the moderates on the Democratic side of the House, who's in control right now, they're not loving where Nancy Pelosi is letting these liberal loons take our country. So there's some, a little murmur going that if they lose some seats in the House, even if they don't take over, Nancy Pelosi may not be the speaker. And, listen, we got a spot for her over here because she's a hell of a drinker. I'll tell you that. She ties one on. Sometimes you could see her dentures floating around in her mouth because the alcohol kills the glue in the denture grip. Sometimes it loosens it up and the teeth like flying out, But we may give her a seat here and she can just drink with us every day. She'll be a riot if you ask me. All right, we got a few seconds left here. In the final few seconds, I want to thank everybody who's tuned in on YouTube. And we are having quite the good time using YouTube these days. I was a little ticked off at Nico the other day because Facebook zapped us, and I thought, my team should have a little more technical acumen in getting us back on. But sometimes, there's an old saying, never let a good crisis go to waste. And now we have discovered YouTube, and I think I like it a little more. Not as much as I like you, so stay right there. We're going to take a quick break right here. We're going to come back with my buddy, Dr. John Huber, and we're going to talk about the pandemic, dealing with the coronavirus fears. He's a psychologist and a big proponent of the use of ketamine to keep people's brains straight. Oh, I could use some ketamine right now. Take a quick break. Back with Dr. Huber right after this.